What up, babies? Week 5, Madden Curse. The Madden Curse. We're going to do some matchup previews. I'm going to give you some predictions. Currently, I'm 509 and 9 with 3 out of 4 locks of the week. So we're going to try to get that lock back. We're going to look at the first matchup, myself versus Scott. We're both in the. Actually, I'm in the West Division. I'm 1-3, and he's 1-3 in the East Division. We're both good for 5th place currently. Um, Projection-wise, we're both around 120 points, very close on paper. I've got Tom Brady, AJ Dillon, Leonard Fournette, Mike Evans, Cortland Sutton, Dallas Goedert, possibly Amon-Ra St. Brown in the flex position. All my Bucks are playing against Atlanta, so hoping for some points there. AJ Dillon is playing against the Giants in London, so it could be a weird game. I never know what to expect there. Um, Check your lineups, fellas. Those games start at 9:30 on Sunday, so I know half of y'all don't be waking up before 9:30. So check that shit Saturday night, baby, and then hope that no ankles get rolled in the warm-ups. On Scott's side, we got um, Josh Allen playing against Pittsburgh. Christian McCaffrey versus the Niners. Clyde Edwards-Helaire versus the Raiders. Metcalf versus New Orleans. And Amari Cooper versus the Chargers. And Tyler Conklin, waiver wire darling, at tight end versus the Miami Dolphins. Uh, I'm pretty nervous about this matchup. McCaffrey and Helaire have both been on a bit of a tear. They're top 5 running backs. Based off points for the year. Josh Allen's right there, number 2 at quarterback. I'm going to give him the edge on this one, and I'm not really looking forward to a 1-4 climb, but that's what we're looking at. So Scott is my pick for the first matchup. Second matchup, we've got Jay Tizzle, Often Perks versus Concord Baby Racers, Dan the Man. 2-2, 4th in the West Division. JT's 3-1, 2nd in the West Division. I have, let's see, JT's got Justin Herbert, Josh Jacobs, Jamal Williams, Cooper Kupp, Curtis Samuel, who's currently questionable, Travis Kelce, Adam Thielen is currently in his flex. Someone told me he got hurt. I guess not. Let's see. On Dan's side, he's got Kirk Cousins. So we're going to have a lot of Vikings in this game. Cousins. We got Damon Pierce, Khalil Herbert, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Taysom Hill, who is questionable, Gabe Davis, sitting in that flex spot. Between the two, I do favor JT in this matchup, and I am going to give him the edge. On paper, it's about a 30-plus point projection. It's hard to put too much into those projections there, but I mean, Cooper Kupp, Travis Kelce, that's hard enough to beat. If Josh Jacobs and Jamal Williams are putting up 20, 25, 30 points, I mean, what are we going to do? JT, you're my pick there. And I don't have a bell, but pretend I'm ringing a bell here. You're my lock of the week, JT. You're the second time I've picked you. This is only week 5. You must be pretty good. Don't let me down. The third matchup of the week is Ja Rule, Fat. He doesn't like Ja Rule or Matt Rule, is my understanding. Playing against Jordan, Team Bed Pooper. Let's see, they're both in the East Division. Fat's 3-1, Jordan's 2-2. Fat's got Joe Burrow, Austin Eckler, Saquon in the London game, Marquise Brown, who's questionable, Christian Kirk, and Gerald Everett at the tight end spot, with Tyler Lockett rounding out the flex position currently. Jordan has Lamar Jackson, Aaron Jones, Damon Harris, Michael Pittman, Michael Gallup alert, Pat Freiermuth. I don't know how to say that shit. We're going to call him Pat F moving forward. And Mike Williams in the flex spot. Between the two, Fat is projected on paper to win this game. However, I've told you what I feel about on paper projections. Currently, he's got Marquise Brown with questionable injury. He's got Saquon Barkley playing in London. I don't know. Maybe those ankles don't hold up in that smoggy weather. Don't know. And then Austin Eckler versus Cleveland. He's got pretty good run defense, and as many memes as Fat made about Mr. Austin Eckler, he scored a lot of points. Most of that was because he had 3 touchdowns. He didn't. If you look at the running back carries, it wasn't in his favor. Um, but I'm gonna give the edge here, slight edge to Jordan. Um, and it's not because I want him to win. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. Um, but he's got Lamar Jackson. I mean, the number one quarterback in the league going up against Cincinnati. Aaron Jones, like I said, these London games can get kind of weird, man. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these guys just absolutely goes crazy. Um, I just think the Packers are better than the Giants, so I think the Packers will probably be able to make a little more movement on offense. But who knows? Like I said, it's London, man. Those fish and chips, man, they pick you up. Um, so I'm giving the edge. Like I said, I'm giving it to Jordan. Um, we like the matchups here. We're gonna, Michael Gallup, start Mike Gallup. He just got off injuries last week. He's back and he's in the lineup. I love it. And I forgot to mention this. Top 10 pick, Najee Harris, sitting on the bench. Hey, you guys want a running back? Hit up Jordan, man. He's got a top 10 running back. Well, before the season started. He's currently rated 26th at the position, but he was picked in the top 10. Hit him up, man. Do some business. I'd like to see a trade that I'm not involved in, but just like one. That's it. Next matchup, we got my boy Brent, Mr. Undefeated. You need to change that name. Can't be number 2 when you're undefeated. The only undefeated team in the league. Versus Frank. This is a battle for the West, baby. Brent's 4-0. Frank's 3-1. Let's see. Brent has got Patrick Mahomes, Derrick Henry, Kareem Hunt, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mark Andrews, and Chris Olave alert. He said he wanted to get him in the lineup. He's in there now. Waddle's also questionable, so maybe he'll move to the wide receiver spot. We'll see. Frank's side, Matt Stafford, Super Bowl champion, future Hall of Famer, Matt Stafford. Joe Mixon, Devin Singletary, who's been lighting it up, considering where he was drafted. Stephon Diggs, perennial beast. DJ Moore, I think he had his best game last year, but man, I'd still be pretty scared about starting him, honestly. Darren Waller, and then Melvin Gordon in the flex. As we all know, Javonte Williams tore something. He's out. He's gone. So Melvin Gordon might be the lead back. There's another guy there named Boone who I think actually took the running back carries, but I think Gordon had a fumble there. So who knows? Gordon is the vet, so probably expect him to carve out a decent role there. Um, I love you, Frank, but it's so hard to pick against Brent right now. And Patrick Mahomes, Derrick Henry. Do I need to read it again? Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mark Andrews, Chris Olave. I'm sorry, Frank. I'm picking Brent. 5-0. That's what we're looking at. Now, to be fair, every time I think I've picked against Frank, I think he's proved me wrong. So we'll see what happens here. But currently, I'm picking Brent to win this matchup. The next matchup here, the Commanding Commanders, Jason, 2-2 versus Let's Ride, 0-4, our sweet defeated Prince, Alex. Jason's got Kyler Murray, Brees Hall, questionable Brees Hall, Miles Sanders, biggest game of his life last week, Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin, Zach Ertz, Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins. I know he had a big game a couple weeks ago. I honestly don't know what he did last week. I'm guessing it was good enough to put him in the starting lineup. On Alex's side, Russell, Dangerous Wilson. He actually did have his best week last week. Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb, number 2. This is pretty cool. Nick Chubb's number 2 at the running back position in a PPR league. I'm sure he's not catching the ball. He's just got to be running his ass off. So way to go. Brandon Cooks, Alan Lazard, who's questionable. Kyle Pitts, questionable, and has not been lighting it up and James Conner in the flex. You know, all those questionable players in there, and the fact that Kyle Pitts has scored like 3 points on average outside of like one game. I think he had like 10, and then the other three has been around 3 points. Make me hesitant to pick Alex for his first win of the year, but I'm going to do it. Dalvin Cook's going against the Bears, baby. Nick Chubb's going against the Chargers, who have pretty decent defense that I recall, but I believe Bosa just got hurt. I think he's out for some time. Um, you know, that Kyle Pitts, he's got to bounce back at some point, right? Like he was drafted too high. He's too athletic. There's only one other guy in Atlanta, Drake London, right? They just lost Cordell Patterson. They got to get him the ball. So I'm going to say that this is Alex's first W of the season. Kyle Pitts, he's going to have a great game. Um, Russell Wilson, he about to ride. He going to ride like a motherfucker. All to Cortland Sutton. But, Alex, I got you getting the first W of the year. I told you I'd pick you to lose every week. I'm changing it up. Get that W. All right. Last matchup. Definitely not the least important. Maybe. We've got T, also known as that thing John Madden said. I don't, if I held up a picture of John Madden, I'm not sure if Mr. T could point him out. If I held up a picture of Colonel Sanders and John Madden, do we think T could pick which one is John Madden? I don't know. I don't know. He's going up against Marshall. Let's see. Marshall's 2-2 in the East. Young T, actually, well, he's old T at this point, at least medium aged. 1-3 in the West. He's got Derek Carr, Jeff Wilson, some guy named Treston Ebner, who's projected to score point 0.1 points. I have never seen this before in my fucking life. A starter, well, he's not a starter, but a fantasy player starting a player that is projected to score point 0.1 dot 1. That is their projected scoring total. You're better off not even starting anybody. What if he fumbles it? Now you're at negative 1.9. I don't know about that. T, it's time to get on them phones, buddy. You got good wide receivers. You can't have starting running back projected to score point 0.1. You're gonna be the Sacco, baby. That's it's very interesting. Now, as I said, he's got great wide receivers. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. I mean, the whole Bengals. That's beautiful. T.J. Hockenson just put up like 40 points last week. And then Deontay Johnson at his flex is a beautiful thing. Obviously, they got a new quarterback, small hands over there. So we'll see how much he likes Deontay. But he's been a ball hog. He's been a ball hog for a number of years. Pause. And then Marshall. Marshall's got Jalen Hurts, James Robinson, Mark Ingram in his starting lineup. I saw an article where they said Kamara said he'd be playing. So I think he'll probably change that. Debo's playing the Panthers. I mean, he's probably going to score 100 points. A.J. Brown, George Kittle, also versus the Panthers. Drake London in the flex. I'm going to give the edge here to Marshall. I think Debo and Kittle, what are they saying? Kittle's a blocker now? I don't know. Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown's a lot of firepower. Throw in Debo. And then, like I said, I think Kamara's going to be coming back into that lineup. James Robinson's been playing like an RB1. What a bunch of fools we are. How did we let him fall? He just had a great season. Those damn Achilles, man, they scare us. But that's what we got this week, guys. Marshall is the guy that we're picking. JT's the lock. So to recap, Scott over Lando, JT over Dan, Jordan over Fat, Brent over Frank, Alex over Jason, Marshall over T. JT, you my lock. Y'all be beautiful.